misunderstanding in our relationship. It felt like he would choose sport over me. As we grow closer and deepen our understanding of each other, I can begin to slowly understand how sports has really shaped his character and molded him and helped him to grow into the man that he is today. So I'd like to invite my wonderful husband, Terrence Han, to the lecture.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and invited guests.
Good evening.
The sport of tennis has been intricately woven in every fabric of my life. It was the first sport at age 3, which I learned just down the road here in Penang. It's been the focal point of a holiday vacation where we went all the way to London, specifically just to attend Wimbledon, to fulfill a lifelong dream. And most important to me, the sport of tennis is a sport that I share a special bond with my dad. I began playing tennis 4 years ago, again seriously. And during that time I realized that the highs and lows of tennis actually are similar to my life experiences. And tonight I'm going to share with you some lessons from life and tennis that hopefully you can take back so you can create a more meaningful life. So the first lesson is, there's no substitute for hard work. So I stopped playing for about 10 years, and when I started again, I thought this would be a seamless transition. I'm athletic, I've played before, and it would be easy. But I was mistaken. I played really poorly and had a hard time even getting players at the tennis club to play with me. I remember going up and asking them to play with me, and all he could say was like, come up with all kinds of excuses like, I've got to send one more email on my phone. Or, I made an appointment to play with somebody else, which I know they didn't. So I got the hint. I needed to go back and I needed to practice. So I played against the wall by myself. I waited until 7 p.m. in the evening so I could play with the club manager when all the good players had gone home. After about 6 months, it paid off. I got a little bit better, and finally, the other players asked me to play with them. This was similar to my Toastmasters experience, where I took a break for about 4 years, as some of you know. And I came back thinking, this is going to be easy. I'm a native English speaker. I've done Toastmasters before, no problem. My first table topics, I was so nervous, I think I had about 10 ahs and 10 ums. For my first prepared speech, I was so nervous that my face went flush and I was red. But here I stand, 8 months later, getting better each week on my path to be a better public speaker. The second lesson is play to win. That's what it is. The second lesson is to play to win. So after a year of playing tennis, I was wondering why my game was plateauing, and I wasn't getting any better until one of the coaches said to me, "You're playing too safe." Playing too safe, what does that mean? It meant that instead of going for all my shots, I did my best to keep the ball in the court. I didn't want to lose the point. And this worked against the weaker players, but not against the better players, and it didn't help me improve my game until I was able to change this mindset. In life, I have a tendency to play it safe. There was a period of time where I didn't want to challenge myself. I didn't want to step out of my comfort zone. I made all kinds of excuses why it was okay for me to stay home and watch TV. I stopped myself from growing. And when they say you're not growing, you're not really living. Just recently, I did a short comedy stand-up routine. It was the most nerve-wracking week of my life. Every inch and every fiber of my being wanted to go back to my old ways, to come up with excuses, to back out of it. But somehow, some way, I didn't. And it was the most amazing experience of my life. I never quite understood it the same, that the magic truly happens when you step out of your comfort zone. And this can only happen when you stop playing safe. Play to win. The third lesson is don't come from ego. I play tennis every day, 7 days a week. You can ask Mel. There's this exhilarating feeling when you get good at a sport and you're able to manipulate that tennis ball to your every will. Forehand down the line, no problem. Backhand cross-court winner, yes. At the same time, my shoulders started to hurt. So, instead of seeing a doctor, I thought, instead of 7 days a week, why not 5 days a week I play instead? The pain continued. So, did I go see a physio? No. I said, why don't I play 4 times a week? As of today, I have not picked up my tennis racket in over 2 months. I'm going through a very long and expensive rehabilitation process. Now, my ego stopped me from saying, stop, your body needs a rest. And we all do this in our lives. We overwork ourselves. We overdo it to the point of exhaustion, until we get sick, until we hurt ourselves. And sometimes your ego thinks you can conquer anything. You can do everything. But you have to stop and take a step back. Tennis is always going to be dear to me, and I miss playing it a lot. But this time away from tennis has made me reflect and made me more aware of my life choices. That whatever I do, there's an element of hard work and dedication that has to go into it. That sometimes you need to stop and listen to your body. And most importantly, stop playing safe. Challenge yourself. Get out of your comfort zone. Because that's when the magic happens. And that's what I need, and I hope all of you do, so you can live a more meaningful life. Thank you. Back to you.